Hutchins.
Well, there's the elite women's field, ready and waiting. A small select grouping. Young Charlotte Purdue, the youngest of this elite field, just 20 years old. And what a frustrating year she's had. The Aldershot Farnham and District athlete had knee surgery back in June. Hasn't been have a track season whatsoever. Quick run out last week in a local relays down in the south of England, and this is her first big test of the year. Arin Jeritic, well, an athlete with real pedigree, the Commonwealth champion at the marathon. She also won the Singapore marathon last year. She's strong. Helen Clitheroe, European indoor 3,000 metres champion, as we've heard, and a world class at distances from 1,500 to 10,000, enjoying her running every day at the age of 37. Lucy Caboo, there's the class act. The winner of the Great North Run just 2 weeks ago. She had a little run out in the week in Sicily over 8 kilometres just to sharpen up for this. We know she's in fabulous form, and the others will compare their form against her here. They couldn't have a tougher challenge. All the athletes getting ready to go on this circuit, which is not particularly fast. There's just one substantial climb. Away they go. Certainly the first mile or so is quite a quick sweep down the side of Holyrood Park, with the park on their left and the wonderful view of the old volcano, Arthur's Seat on their right, Stuart. But I wonder whether or not they'll head off fairly gingerly here, or if somebody will really attack this early.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of the course itself. It is a testing, perhaps the most testing 10-kilometre course we've got on this circuit. It's challenging, it has its undulations, it's energy sapping in every way. It's and the point you make about the first part of this, up along the park, Holyrood Park, they'll soon turn into that, and they'll find a very steady uphill part up to almost 2 kilometres. So it is quite testing, and it will be steady, I would think. The fastest time recorded, 32:10. Don't look for fast times today. The conditions are not exactly good for these athletes. There's a little wind out there, which is a good factor, that's for sure. And whilst the rain has come down this morning, it certainly has undiminished the beauty of this particular part of the course. It's an absolutely wonderful course with its uphills and downhills, and it'll certainly sort them out fairly quickly, I think, as they head out towards the first kilometre mark with Helen Clitheroe and Lucy Caboo, that young diminutive figure at the front of this group already. Winner of the Great North Run, as you said, Tim. She's in great form, a great spirit, and a young woman who certainly will be the one to test the lot of them today, I think.
I'll be fascinated to see how little Charlotte Purdue goes there on the right. She's even smaller than Caboo, and the Kenyan is small, but hurt her knee on a stone, twisted on a stone in Font-Romeu in France, training at altitude back in May, and had to have a knee operation on the cartilage in June, and then has had to sit out much of July and August, gradually getting some decent training done through August and September. And said she only ran 3 seconds slower last week in her local relay than she ran last year. And then, of course, this time last year, she and so many of these athletes were heading off to the Commonwealth Games in Delhi. And she ran very well there. She came fourth in the 10,000 metres. So she's actually in pretty good shape, I think, Charlotte Purdue. She might surprise herself there. She's the tiny figure over on the far side there. But Caboo here, nearest the camera, we know she's in supreme shape. She is the class act, and I would expect her to dominate here, Stuart. But having said that, they've gone off, 2.5 minutes on the clock. Very, very slowly indeed.
Helen Clitheroe, a new belief in this woman. We've mentioned she won that European indoor 3,000 metre title, and that really turned her career round. It was the belief she needed in winning a championship, and a major championship indoors, certainly. And since that time, she's done very well. She still holds the British record for the 3,000 metre steeplechase, of course, but went to the World Championships at 5,000 metres, made the final, which was absolutely superb. She's running well and looks very comfortable.
Well, they're negotiating this first big climb at a canter there. Helen, I was interested to hear her say that she's knows she can testing,
and you'll see how far they've spread out so quickly. That's how this race emerges. Purdue in fourth place, Jeritic in third, then there's a kilometre, 3:47.48. It's not quick, but we didn't expect that. Just gone past that first kilometre marking for you to see. Purdue still there.
Very slow that, Stuart. 3:45 I got them out at 1 kilometre. I mean, crikey.
Yeah.
That's something like 37-minute pace. I mean, they haven't really attacked that hill, let's put it like that. But now I suspect we'll see them striding out, and the gap's already opened up.
Well, it looks like Anna Jabashak just off there she is in the dark strip just behind Purdue. And I must say that they look very, very comfortable even taking that hill. You can see how steep that is. And of course, once they come out of Holyrood Park, they'll turn up Holyrood Park Road and then St Leonard Street and head right back up towards the city. And then they'll have a left turn down Cowgate and under George IV Bridge and so on. And we'll bring you up to date with the course as they approach those particular points. But Kaboo looks very, very comfortable. Eyes down, deep in concentration.
Interesting character, Kaboo. She's one of those Kenyan athletes who is actually...
This is a course that is going to sort them out and has sorted them out very, very early indeed. And Lucy Kaboo, one of 9 children in the family, 4 boys, 5 girls. She's number 6, we're told, but 3 away. And Charlotte Purdue just behind. So Charlotte Purdue still in this. There are 4 now away from the rest of the field. So really it's gone with a pedigree. And let me just say to you that we talked about this to go.
They've gone through 2 kilometres there in around 7:10. It's certainly very slow. Kaboo just beginning to stride out a little bit now. She, of course, Stuart, I think after that run last week or a couple of weeks ago when she won the Great North Run in just outside 67 minutes, she's yet another Kenyan who will become, I'm sure, a great marathon runner when she takes on that distance. Says she's looking to do that after the Olympic Games next year. But Kaboo is dragging this little quartet away from the rest of the field, and Charlotte Purdue just tucked in there has got to hang on for as long as possible to secure herself a top spot. Good to see Helen Clitheroe looking very relaxed there, just behind Kaboo. She's got a lovely long raking stride as Helen. When she's in good form, she's very, very tough to beat. I'll be fascinated to see how close she can stay to Kaboo here.
Between 2 and 3 kilometres now, heading towards the 3rd kilometre when there'll be a turn left again, Cowgate, and head towards George IV Bridge. Big 4, the principals, very much in form, and the race slowly but surely beginning to unfold with Lucy Kaboo. Well, look at this. Could be a little break. It could be, and it's Jeritic who's taking it on. We were mentioning that she was 13th in the World Championship Marathon in Daegu, 2:31 run. She was 6th in the Great North Run, remember, indicated a personal best of 71:03 in that Great North Run, of course. And she's leading at the moment. And look at this. There is a gap. It's 2 Kenyans getting away, and Helen Clitheroe finding it difficult here. But we've seen this before from the Kenyan athletes. They really do start to move early on in races, and this between her and Charlotte Purdue now is increasing. And of course, Helen Clitheroe is finding it very, very difficult in 4th place. And this is
Clitheroe from a long, long year. Charlotte Purdue, quite the opposite. She's had a very frustrating year, and if she takes the scalp of Clitheroe here, that'll be a great one. She can notch up. She just needs to keep running hard here to open that gap between herself. And here, I suppose, in Purdue and Clitheroe, you're looking at the 2 extremes of British distance running. A young 20-year-old with her whole career ahead of her, although she's already a European junior champion, and Helen Clitheroe, who has served Britain so well for, well, over 15 years, frankly. But
coming back from on operation here, a wonderful, wonderful return. She was 14th in the World Cross Country Championships, remember, over 8 kilometres, and showed terrific form. And it was such a pity that she got that injury in Font-Romeu early on in the season, had the operation in June, but she's back. She's one of Mick Wood's girls, and he's got such a big stable of runners, both male and female. But this now is another uphill step, and you can see Jeritic, I reckon Purdue might be catching up, Jeritic, you know. I reckon she might be. That gap between 2nd and 3rd is diminishing, and that will encourage Charlotte Purdue. And she really is moving well. Helen Clitheroe's been dropped, that's for sure. She's not making any headway at all. But certainly Purdue, look at that. Very aggressive. Really hits the hills, doesn't she? Look at the slide.
Anybody catch Kaboo here? You really get a good impression here too, Stuart, on these streets of Edinburgh. Just how undulating this course is. There hasn't been a great deal of flat running at all yet.
Well, let's just catch now. That's That's Kaboo, but it's what's happening for second and third, but that's the gap for you. And look at this. Young Charlotte Purdue is really catching the more experienced Eileen Jerotic. She really is a believer, isn't she, young Purdue? Down that hill she's motoring. Now, if she can get up right onto the back of Jerotic, then, well, who knows what effect that will have on Jerotic's psyche. Will she collapse, or will she still go, and will she fight? We'll soon see.
It's the ideal situation, this, for young Purdue. She's just got somebody in her sights. Having somebody 10 metres or so ahead enables you to get your head down and keep working hard. I don't know if Jerotic is aware that she's closed so much. She's probably not. She hasn't looked around yet. I haven't seen her have a glance around. She knows she's got the race. Oh, there's the first glance, but she knows she's lost the race. Kaboo's gone. I mean, she's well ahead and moving so well. But this is where the racing is taking place. Helen Clitheroe very isolated back in fourth place. Look, hasn't come around that corner in the background yet. But Jerotic here, this would be a wonderful scalp for young Charlotte Purdue. What a boost for her going into this coming winter.
Approaching halfway mark, and 5 kilometres to go in this 10-kilometre race, and Charlotte Purdue is closing in on second place now. Jerotic looks to be faltering, and look at this. Now, if Charlotte can go past, then who knows, as I say, what effect it will have on the tall Kenyan. Look at the difference in stature between these two, but the determination on the look of the face of Charlotte Purdue is, well, it's wonderful. Look at this. She wants to win. She's a winner.
Well, Lucy Kaboo went through 5 kilometres in 16:58, 17:06. There's the gap back to Clitheroe, but 17:06 for Jerotic and little Purdue here. Charlotte Purdue, they're only, some 8 seconds down on the leader. This battle that Purdue is putting on here has drawn her closer and closer to the leader. Kaboo, of course, not only got it now just past Jerotic, and that's the first Jerotic is aware, I suspect, that she was being closed down.
Well, look at the lead that Lucy Kaboo has got. Just so easy. She floats along the road. She really does. She's a diminutive character. Just a little bit taller than Charlotte Purdue, but very light, and just drifts along in total command. Wonderful technique.
16:58 at 5k, so she's only moving just inside 34-minute paces, Kaboo, but I'm sure the second half will be quicker. It certainly will be for little Charlotte Purdue here, because she's got past Jerotic, as you can see, the Commonwealth champion in the marathon, and now there's no good getting past somebody and easing off and having a breather, because they sit in your shoulder. What she's got to do here, Stuart, is get her head down and really push hard for this next 3 or 4 minutes and try and get a gap. And you can see Jerotic there in third place, the tall Kenyan, working very, very hard. She'll be aware of that. She needs to. I think she's getting in a slipstream of Purdue, and she'll just dog her heels now. But young Charlotte here, if you're going to go past somebody, you've got to make sure you go right past them. It's no good going past them and just sitting 1 metre ahead.
Certainly Charlotte Purdue, a little glance herself there, and she's mature beyond those years. She's only a youngster. She's won all of the major junior cross-country titles that there are. She's done well at the world level as well, and has had this little bit of a problem. And I just wonder, look at this, Jerotic coming back. What a race, but look at that, the margin. 4 kilometres to go in this 10-kilometre race. A woman totally and utterly in command.
Well, there's a lot more urgency to that stride, isn't there? She's really moving well now. When you think they were virtually jogging.
The margin, just a mere 3 metres or so. Jerotic, can she hang on to the young Brit? Purdue ups her stride pattern. Look at that, the cadence increases, her leg speed increases, tries to get away. Jerotic desperately trying to stay in contact. The marathon expert, the Commonwealth champion in the marathon, the tall figure, in third place now. I think it's absolutely clear that Kaboo has got this, but look at this. Charlotte Purdue is getting away. She's certainly getting away from the Commonwealth Marathon champion and Irina Jerotic, the Kenyan, and it may well be that the Kenyan is beaten on this occasion, because look at the determination. She knows she's a long way behind Kaboo, but she's really attacking this race. She wants a time out of this. She wants to test herself. This is an opportunity for her to test herself. Looks confident. Look at the determination on her face. I love the way she has the attitude. Her body language is terrific each time she runs. She's a confident young woman, and that's going to see us in great stead in the future, certainly.
And when you've been working very hard to break somebody, Stuart, in a race like this, when eventually you get the gap and you know that that thread has been broken, you get a surge of adrenaline. You get your reward for the minutes of hard work. She's been working for, what, maybe 7 or 8 minutes with a 1 metre lead on Jeritic. Now she's got the gap. And she's got her head down. If anything, she's accelerated since that thread, that sort of psychological thread between the two broke. And she's easing away now and looking really strong. And I suspect Jeritic, having been broken, will throw in the towel now and just coast home in 3rd place. I don't think she'll be caught by Helen Clitheroe back in 4th. But from Charlotte Purdue, this is fabulous. To split the Kenyans like this, quite a rarity for a European runner, never mind about just a British runner. Great to see. And when you think this lass is just 20 years old, what a future she's got under the coaching of Mick Woods. Great to see Stephanie Twell, of course, Mick Woods' other principal female charge, coming back to racing last week as well after breaking her ankle last winter in a cross-country that totally blew out her whole summer. So I suspect there's a lot of camaraderie between that squad down in Aldershot and helps push them towards this sort of performance.
When you get on the downhills,
Moving well. Kaboo is in a different class altogether.
I'll tell you what impressed me about Charlotte Purdue. It was the relentless pressure that she put on Irina Jeritic. She really did. She wanted this so badly, and that determination is something that really we've got to admire. She is absolutely flying now. She's testing herself. She knows she's not going to win, but she's going to go for a time now. Then it's not particularly quick in absolute terms, but it is a very, very positive run from this young woman. Look at the distance she's got now between herself and the Kenyan marathon champion in 3rd place. It's an absolutely wonderful run.
She's got so much energy, hasn't she? There's a sort of urgency to her running, young Charlotte Purdue. It probably comes because she's such a tiny young girl in stature, that her stride length is relatively short compared with the likes of Jeritic, and she always looks like she's busy. But she too, like Kaboo, has got a lovely running style, works hard with this very, very impressive second half.
Well, we've spoken much about the talent that this young woman has. We mustn't forget she was 4th in the Commonwealth Games in the 10,000 metres. She was 6th in the 5,000 metres last season. She was very much learning her trade there, but then getting the injury this summer, having the operation. But it's quite clear that she is back in business and very close to what we knew to be her best at this particular distance. So she's going to come into 2nd place. There's absolutely no question about that, and she truly deserves it.
The Purdue, so impressive. Jeritic in the background hasn't really eased off that much. I haven't seen Charlotte glance around to check the gap, but certainly she secured 2nd spot here, Stuart. And this is a run which will be one of the highlights of her career so far. Even though she has international honours, in a competitive race up against Kenyan talent, this is a big one for her. Very dominant run from the Kenyan, winner of the Great North Run, winner of the Edinburgh Great Run here today. And a fabulously competent performance, dominant performance from the Kenyan. Here's Charlotte Purdue, about 30 seconds down. This a run from a young girl who's had a very, very frustrating year with that operation back in June on one of her knees, a keyhole surgery she had, but she's bounced back. The winter lies ahead. She's a cross-country specialist, and certainly I think we'll see her have a great run in the forthcoming European cross-country championships, the World cross-country championships, and 2nd place here. Well, I think we're probably looking at the young lady who'll make the Olympic team next year. That winning time, 32.28 for Kaboo, Purdue 32.58. And here is Jeritic. She'll be about 20 seconds down on 2nd place.
It's tough, and for her to beat Jeritic, to break the monopoly of the Kenyans, is really significant. And honestly, she's one of the toughest young athletes that we've ever produced, along with Steph Twell and others. You know, we've got a great combination of the older athletes like Helen Clitheroe and Paula Radcliffe, and the youngsters that are coming through, and it's really exciting.